Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our first edition of Wellness Wednesdays. So this is our first video in a series of videos that I've asked you guys to give us topics on. So one of the most common topics requested is how to sit ergonomically in the car. And the reason why that's so important is because a lot of us sit a lot of the day, and a lot of us are sitting incorrectly. And we already know that when we're standing or walking around or being active, we have gravity weighing on our spine, and there's still gravity weighing on our spines when we're seated. And it can be even more so on the lower back when we're sitting. So it can be detrimental to our health if we're not sitting in the right position. And a lot of you are getting ready to go on your April vacations next week with the kids, and you're going to be driving to Florida or driving in other places further away. So hopefully these tips will give you some good ideas on how to keep your spine healthy when you're in the car, even if it's just going to and from work. So I'm going to show you some demonstrations, and then if you have questions, bring them in to me, or comment in this video or email us. And we'll get you more information, okay? So the first thing in the car, and I'm going to use this chair as an example, but some of you have chairs in your cars that are adjustable, so I'll talk about that, and then if they're not adjustable, what you can do about that. So the first thing is that when you're going to go sit in the car, you should have some kind of lumbar support. And the cars that come with lumbar support, they're not ideal. So I always recommend getting some kind of supportive system for your lower back in the car. And I love these mesh ones that we sell in the office because they have some give and they're adjustable. So everyone's a different height. So you can move it up and down your seat wherever you find that it gives you the most support for your lower back curve. Because oftentimes when we sit, it flattens our lower back curve, and then it increases the impacts of gravity on your lower back. So for instance, if I'm going to sit here in this chair, and I'm supposed to have a nice curved lower back so that gravity has a curve to work with to protect my spine as like a shock absorber. But if I slouch like this, I lose that shock absorbing capability in the spine. So to have a lumbar support set up behind you, bringing your seat all the way to the back and then resting your spine here, and then as you bring your upper back towards the rest of the seat, you'll form a lower back curve. The other tip I have, in order to keep your ear above your shoulder and not to do one of these when you start driving, is to have your head on the headrest and adjust your rear view mirror. So that way, as you get tired driving and you start to slouch, it'll be a reminder when you can't see out of your rear view mirror, so you'll straighten up again, okay? The other factor is that anytime we're seated, whether at work or in the car, you wanna make sure that your hip and your knee are in line, or your hips are slightly higher than your knees. For people that are prone to sciatica, or the pain that goes down the leg when they sit for too long, they do very well lifting up their hips. So we sell these wedges. You can probably get these anywhere. And some of you have seats in your car that are just this way, so you could tilt your hips a little higher than your knees. So if you sit on this wedge and have your lumbar support, it's going to take the pressure off of your lower back nerves, so you're not going to get that pain down your hamstring, just by elevating your hips slightly above your knees. Okay, so this is how we want to be seated in the car, head up against the headrest, rear view mirror, in line with this neck position, and hands here. So we're not slouching, we're not like this, we're nice and ergonomically aligned. Now, when you take breaks or you get out of the car after driving for a long period of time, I always recommend to stretch your hamstrings. So your hip flexors and the back of your leg can get very tight from being seated for too long. And all of these muscles affect the lower back because they're attached to the pelvis. So a really easy, quick hamstring stretch would be to stay in your car and just swing your legs out the side or stop at a rest stop and straighten one leg and then hinge forward with a nice flat back. I'm going to do another video next week on whole body stretching, so I'll show you some more in detailed stretches for your lower leg. But another one that you can do is a simple lunge when you get out of the car, just to stretch your hip flexors. And do that on either side. And that will definitely help minimize the effects of being in the car for too long. So I hope that gives you some simple, quick tips. And again, if you have any other video ideas, I would love to hear about them. And those of you that do not know who I am Dr. Jillian Stognew, and I run Awakening Chiropractic in Tilton, New Hampshire. And we are doing these videos just to give information and to educate as much as we can so that we can create a healthy community. So I really hope that you take part and you request videos or you email us questions if you have any topics of interest, okay? Have a healthy day.